Um, as you know, I usually do this. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes when I shoot something, I used to do it a lot with Clean Crew. I used to shoot something and then drop a director's cut to tell you what was my purpose in capturing this image. What I wanted to do was I just wanted to be different from everybody else, because what I wanted to do is, as you guys have been seeing, I put an overlay over the photos now. Photos that are on the website, I will put my logo, just the IP. But stuff I put on Facebook or social media now, my goal is to kind of create a magazine look and a magazine feel, instead of just putting a logo at the bottom of the corner. I mean, luckily for us at Shakes Industries, our logo is probably the best logo on the planet. I don't think anybody has a better logo than us in the genre that we're in, right? Obviously, Nike has a great logo for what they're involved in. Adidas have a great logo for what they're involved in. I don't think Louis Vuitton has that much of a great logo. I think they have a great pattern. I don't think they have a great logo. Our logo, it punches on everything. You can always see our logo on any image that we take. And just shout out to Joey Leonard for making that logo. And since we're talking about the logo, basically the logo is a black woman. And my boy Joey Leonard, who's white, 30 years ago was like, yo, I'm gonna make you a logo. I was like, all right, cool. And he made this logo, and it was a naturally aspirated, right? It's just a natural woman. Kinky hair, thick lips, big eyes. I don't know all the logos in the world, but what I do know is we're probably one of the first in entertainment business to have a black woman as our logo. And the reason for that is because at BobbyShakes.com, our target demographic is black women between the age of 35 to 65, making $175,000 a year. That's the black women that we target. We do a lot of stuff. I mean, this club stuff here is just, I just do it because I'm bored, and I just use it to keep my chops up. I'm not really trying to make money taking dance hall pictures. I mean, I don't get paid. Half the time you see me, I'm not really getting paid. It's basically sharpening my craft. So when I do get paid, I just do ill shit. Sorry for swearing. So here we are. I'm sick. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's too much cigarettes, but I'm wheezing. I've been coughing. But I just wanted to take you through this image here. Beautiful young woman. What attracted me to her is like her thick lips. And when I was looking at her, I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to work the grayscale on this image. Now, this is not a color image. This is a monochrome image. This image is shot in black and white. This is not a color image that I turned into black and white. This is a black and white image. It is what it is, and that's that. I can't go to color. I've been shooting a lot of monochrome lately because I'm just trying to get back to film photography and get back to manipulating the grayscale. I love the grayscale. Through high school, I worked in the dark room. I was in charge of, in high school, I have like a degree in graphic arts. I used to print all the brochures that went out to the parents, went to Don Bosco Tech. So I was in charge of the dark room, and that's where I began to play with grayscale. Every color on the planet had 50% gray, 15% gray. So I love grayscale. I loved it. So what I was doing was, first of all, I was going around and just taking images without a light. And Cassie, thank you so much. I mean, art director for this. I'm the photographer for this, but really and truly, the art director is Cassie. Because Cassie came up to me and I was going to take a picture of Ghetto. And I'm like, yo, she's like, yo, use my light. I got an extra light, bro. Use my light. So she was actually the art director on these shoots. I was just the photographer. I have a really close relationship with Cassie. And I think when me and Cassie team up, we make magic happen. So she said, hey, Shakes, use my light. And then I went to work. So I saw her here, and I'm sorry I don't know her name. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold the light. As you can see, there's a hard shadow on the right side of her body, the way I'm looking at it. I think my only mistake I did on this image, I should have told her to lift her neck up just a little bit, to elongate her neck, just to give her a little bit more elegance. I kind of did her dirty here. I should have told her to raise just a smidget, just to make her longer, so that way she doesn't look so compressed. I'm not telling you the ASA on this because I want other photographers using my ASA. You got to figure that out on your own. And this is a raw image straight out of the camera. There is no edits on this image. There is absolutely no edits on this image. Yes, it went into Lightroom to put the logo on, but there is no Photoshop. There is no enhancement, no color correction, because what Cassie did was Cassie was able to give me her light and we were able to match the temperature of the room in Unity. The problem with Unity is the temperature changes all the time because they have the strobe lights going on. There's not a consistent temperature throughout Unity. So sometimes Unity is a hard place to shoot. There's a lot of fall off in Unity. And it's just what it is. A lot of places have a lot of fall off. Sorry, Big Night Live the other night at the Ding Dong, there was a lot of fall off. The temperature wasn't as steady. For Baby Sham, the temperature in the room was consistent throughout the whole night. So I was able to really go to work at Baby Sham. I wasn't really able to work at 450 and Ding Dong. The temperature of the room kept on changing. And now that I'm saying this, you could go back and look at the pictures and you could start to see, all right, cool. You could see the fluctuation of color temperature within the album. So once Cassie was able to dial in the correct temperature on the light, I just went to work. And that's just a beautiful shot. That's one take. And she's a G. She's a G. She stood. I've never seen her before. She stood there. She took the photo. And just look at her stance. If you look at her body, and look at her dress, right? Like, I don't even know how she was able to get her. I don't even know how she was able to do this. I mean, some girls are just hot. You know, some girls, this is what they do. Obviously, if this was a photo shoot, I would have had time. I mean, I'm in a nightclub. I would have had the assistant spread her dress out, right? Just so that it doesn't look like it's a bunch of mess sitting on the floor. Probably would want to stretch that out. And that's what I was going to do. But when she did the pose, I let it go because I didn't want to make the base of the dress wider than her hips. I like the fact that it's all scrunched up at her feet. So that way now that shapes her hips inside the image. And look at her eyes. She brings you into the image, right? When you look at this woman, she brings you into the image. It's just a great image. But what else we got here? Now here we go with Nora. I love low-key, like I love taking pictures of Nora. And the reason why I love taking pictures of Nora is just because she just gives me like energy. And no, we're not dating. And no, we're not fornicating. I just love Nora. She just takes great images. Donna Killquick. Like every single image from Donna Killquick is a masterpiece for the last 20 years. Now, I could have went in and you see her here, I could have photoshopped her gray hair here. She's probably going to ratchet me to death. Yes, Donna, I could see the gray hair on top of your head. But again, we used the light to paint her face to give her that smooth look. This is what we're painting with light. We're not using any type of Photoshop or Lightroom to get this image. This is basically using the camera to wash out, to fill in the dimples and the acne and the bag of the eyes and all of that. Yes, clearly I could have brought this into Photoshop and I could have zipped out some of the bags under her eyes. But I think it's just better to keep shit natural and just to keep it. Now, this image is crazy. There's no editing on this image. What we did was with this images, we kept man, we just sprinkle a little dust on these images. We don't go crazy because we're using the flash to light the image, right? So we're not doing crazy edits, right? We're just using what God gave us or what. Right, look at that. It's just a great image. And again, these are all monochrome. These are not. This right here is a little bit soft. See, if you look at Cypress, if you look at Cypress here, I lost them in the eyes. I don't know what happened. Maybe I moved or I didn't hold the camera as steady. So if you look at Cypress in his eyes, I lost them there. If I was a little bit tacker on this would have been a crazy picture. The Cypress eyes would have brought you into it, but you kind of lose his focals, right? You see Cypress, but you don't really, what you really see Cypress is down here in the hand. But if I was a little bit tacker here, I could have been better. If I was better, this image, I mean, that's a sellable Getty's image. You see what I'm saying? He's a little tack here, a little bit tacker here, still a little bit off. It's the fisheye. So what happened was the middle of the frame is sharp. Everything towards the outside of the frame just seems to fall off. Right, look at that. That's tack. That's tack handheld. That's handheld. That's handheld with a light. There's no flash to freeze the motion. Now you see what I'm saying here when we look at Cypress here. If you look at Cypress here, his eyes are tack. So now this brings you into the image. The first thing you see Cypress's eyes. It brings you into the image. And then if you look towards the outside of the image, you can see the fall off. And the fall off is perfect because he's in black. Look at that. Eyes again, brings you straight into the image. Eyes again, eyes attack. Again, brings you straight into the image, eyes are tack. Can you believe this dude got his foot? This dude got his foot on $20,000 worth of equipment. Great image. Great image. Great image. Guy got his foot on 20,000. Guy put his drink, Put his drink and his foot on $20,000 worth of equipment. Again, Cypress Eyes' tack brings you into the image. Look at that. Come on, man. That's sellable. That's a sellable picture. That's a picture that he wants to give to his children. Like, yo, man, y'all ain't cool. Used to sell this right here is this is another one of my favorite image. Again, if I had brought this into Photoshop, I would have got rid of the specks of white on his glasses. I would have cleaned up this chain right here so you don't see like these dots right here. And I would have made his beard a little bit fuller, but as you can see, his face is smooth. Like, look at that. Now, you can see here a little bit of enhancement on this image here because I was off. You can see it. I was off on this image. Now this is my favorite image. This and the first image that I started with, this is my favorite image. Toya Reds. The shadow underneath her neck, the middle finger out of focus. Like, look at her lips. Look at her tongue. Look at her top lip. Look at her eyelashes. Look at her eyebrows. Like, if you see this image and you're not trying to run her down the next time you see her, you're crazy. I lost it. As you can see, that's a bad image. I lost it. It's handheld, so it's hard to get that. Jesus Christ. Look at that. That's crazy. Just look at her. It's a strong image. You can see the lines in her throat, right? You can see the lines in her throat. You can see the hard jawline, hard face outside, right? So she has these hard structures, which allows the shirt to be okay to be soft because her neck, you can see the definition in the front of her neck right here. I don't know if y'all can see that, like right here. This line here, strong neck, very strong face. Very strong face right here. I mean, it's a good image. Now, if you look at this image, I missed it on purpose because clearly the object of this image is the Guinness. It's the Guinness, right? And I'm born in England. I love something black. Guinness is a very, very, very important drink to me. So that was the focus here on the Guinness. Here's Trickstar taking a drink. I mean, just look at that. And this is why I love grayscale, right? Because if you look right here in her thighs, which is the pattern, you can see the pattern here, right? Like right here on top of her thighs. Hard jawline, hard smile, beautiful lips, Hard nose, beautiful eyes. Eyes bring you in. Eyebrows are almost perfect. That's a black woman. This is Star. Now, as you can see, I lost her. If this was Tack, this would be a killer picture. But I lost her. I mean, she was. I don't know. She's like, Bobby, stop taking my picture. But I wish I would have grabbed her. Because if I had grabbed her here, if I had grabbed her, that would have been a crazy image because you would have just went straight into her eyes. But as you can see, everything here is so soft. Because what happened was she was videotaping something on stage and then looked and saw me, and then I banged on the shutter. I love the movement in the background. I wish she was Tack. If she was Tack, I mean, I would print that out, put that on my wall. 45. Color, I wish I shot this in monochrome. Look at that. That's it. This is my art director. She's the one that lets me know. That's my art director. Cassie's my art director. I mean, when we're together, we have a good time, man. She's always, yeah. So that's it. I'm in my underwear. That was fun. So yeah, we're gonna start shooting a lot more stuff in monochrome. I like it. I need to go to bed. Look at the bags underneath my eyes. I haven't slept in 3 weeks. Just been grinding. All right, I'm going to bed. I know you're probably saying, why is his shirt off? Well, I mean, if I'm doing 100 push-ups a day, I gotta show my chest off to somebody. You feel me? Y'all have a good night.